She picked up her phone, typed just 3 words, and sent a message no mother should ever receive: "We're in trouble." Moments later, the plane disappeared from radar. On board was a NASCAR legend, his wife, their 2 children, and several others heading out for what was supposed to be a simple birthday vacation. Instead, it became one of the most heartbreaking tragedies the racing world has seen in years. This is the final story of Greg Biffle. On the morning of December 18, 2025, a private Cessna Citation jet took off from Statesville Regional Airport in North Carolina, bound for Florida. The trip was meant to be a short family getaway. Greg Biffle was traveling with his wife Cristina, their 5-year-old son Ryder, and Greg's 14-year-old daughter Emma. Also on board were Dennis Dutton, his son Jack, and Craig Wadsworth. Just 26 minutes after takeoff, something went terribly wrong. According to early reports, the aircraft suddenly turned back toward the airport, attempting an emergency landing. Witnesses later described the jet coming down hard near the runway before bursting into flames. There were no survivors. As investigators began reconstructing the final moments, one detail stunned the public. Minutes before the crash, Cristina Biffle sent a text message to her mother. It read, "We're in trouble." That was the last message she ever sent. Her mother later said there was no follow-up, no explanation, only silence. Those 3 words now stand as a chilling reminder of how suddenly life can change. Greg Biffle was more than a name in NASCAR history. He began his racing career in the mid-1990s and quickly rose through the ranks, winning the Craftsman Truck Series championship and earning Rookie of the Year honors. Over the years, he became known not only for his fearlessness on the track, but also for his consistency and professionalism. In 2023, he was named one of NASCAR's 75 greatest drivers, cementing his legacy in the sport. But to those closest to him, Greg's greatest achievement wasn't a trophy or a title. It was his family. Friends and relatives described Greg and Cristina as deeply devoted parents. Their lives revolved around their children, school, travel, shared hobbies, and quiet moments away from the spotlight. Emma was remembered as kind and compassionate, while Ryder was described as endlessly curious and full of joy. After stepping back from full-time racing, Greg focused much of his energy on helping others. He became involved in humanitarian efforts and even used his skills as a pilot to assist during natural disasters. Following Hurricane Helene, Greg flew helicopters into devastated areas, delivering supplies and helping evacuate stranded families. Just weeks before the crash, Cristina had reportedly reached out to friends asking how she could support relief efforts abroad. That spirit of service defined who they were. The Federal Aviation Administration has confirmed that the cause of the crash is still under investigation. The aircraft was registered to a company owned by Biffle, and officials say it was under contract at the time of the flight. For now, many questions remain unanswered. In a joint statement, the families of the victims said they are heartbroken beyond words and asked for privacy as they try to process an unimaginable loss. What remains is the memory of lives cut short far too soon: a legendary driver, a loving mother, 2 young children, and others who were deeply loved. What began as a birthday trip ended in tragedy, reminding the world how fragile life truly is. Greg Biffle leaves behind more than racing records. He leaves behind a legacy of love, courage, and compassion that will not be forgotten.